Welcome back to the Boys for Life podcast, episode 15.
Episode 15.
Wow, we are here. We're back in the library, which I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm liking this more and more that we're in here, bro. I really, really am. I love it in here.
I think you should tell us the real reason that you like it.
No, we'll keep that between you and me. But
okay. I thought it'd be funny. It's relatable though for sure. But I just thought it'd be funny. But you can keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Episode 15 though, we are here, and fall is officially here.
Wow, dude.
It's been getting cooler. It is 50 degrees out. Sun is out, but it's like still got a little bite to it.
Got a little bite, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of fall weather. I love a good fall weather. I love it. I love football. There's something about it, man. And that's also getting closer to snowboarding season too, bro.
That is true.
Snowboarding season is right around the corner.
I feel like what was earlier this week, actually, because I was out in the city, but I know even on the burbs, it was really warm. It was like 80 degrees. It was hot.
Yeah, what?
And it was like literally like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then it was like, let's enjoy it now because the back half of the week on the radar, we're showing like 45, 50 degrees. Like last night had a little bit of a nip to it.
Bro, it had a major nip.
It had a major nip to it. And it's like fall is here. I do like fall because I like wearing jeans and pants and hoodies and everything like that. And like you were talking about, snowboarding season is almost here.
Yes,
First
bro.
snowfall is probably going to hit. It's crazy we're talking about it, but like could be end of next month. Maybe early December. Like we got like a month and a half. And then it's like, maybe take a quick flight to Denver and go snowboard on a quick weekend or something like that, right?
Either there or go to Holiday Valley, baby. Holiday Valley. You might need
I'm down. We need to do Holiday Valley.
Yeah.
Obviously we could always hit the Alpines, or what was the other one? Wilmot. Wilmot kind of sucks, but Alpine Valley.
Wilmot's all right.
It's all right.
We got to hit Granite Peak in Wausau, bro. Granite Peak.
We do.
We gotta go. And Chestnut. We got to go Chestnut. Chestnut is the spot too, bro.
It is crazy that we are talking about that already. I feel like this year has absolutely flown by.
Bro, what?
What was the date that we recorded the first pod? It was like end of May. It was like May 28th or something like that.
It was end of May. We'll have to go check the records, but it sounds around May.
Episode 15, running it up. We have a great guest tomorrow.
Yes.
But I kind of want to. People really enjoyed kind of going down memory lane and nostalgia.
100%, bro.
I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, but we were talking about it before. What movie did you guys watch last night? You and shout out Tina.
Shout out Tina right here. She's with us today. Always is with us. Appreciate you, girl. It was at what?
It just sounded like you were talking to a dog for a second. I don't know why. Like your puppy. Like.
Well, maybe
appreciate you, girl. You know,
maybe I don't know. Just kidding.
I don't know why. Like I just thought like Marley and me. Like when you were talking like that. I don't know. We're thinking movies. My mind was running.
It's all good, bro.
What did you guys watch last night?
I think it was Element. It was the new Element. It was on Disney Plus. It was actually
Elementals or something.
Elementals. Elementals. Yeah. It was basically about wind. It was about wind, air, fire, and water. And it was actually it was a really good story. And the backstory of it is there's fire. They moved to a new town where it's just fire people, and there's like this whole big town, and there's like separate villages. So there's water there, and then there's water's one town, fire's in another. You have wind and air kind of everywhere,
all over.
Obviously, fire or water puts out fire and all that stuff. So kind of what had happened was there's these two people, this fire girl and this water guy. They eventually there's kind of like a romantic story that they have together, and it's cool. I mean, it's really cool, and I'm not really doing the greatest job of explaining it here right now, but it's I think overall it's a classic Disney movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Classic Disney movie. So good movie. What, probably an hour 45-minute film. Just a very good fall evening, just me and Tina last night. Just kind of chilling.
There's always a nice message, but I do think that we may have found a new profession for you. Is just giving A1 quick recaps of movies, dude. Like that was absolutely phenomenal. I love that. But the great thing about Disney is I feel like, especially with the animated movies, is they always hit home with some kind of like real message. And that's what we were talking about, because they have like the movie Soul and Kanto. They have what's the one that has was it Coco?
Oh yeah,
there's Coco, and then there's so many. Like,
there's a million. There's a lot. Yeah,
but they always hit home with like a deeper message.
Yeah, Yeah, no, they do. They do. And if I ever watch them, I probably won't give a recap, but I'll let Jeffrey take the reins on that. But
I'm not saying that I would do much better than that.
Listen, man, it's all good though. But no, I do think with what you're saying, there's a good message with the Disney movies, and I feel like it is good, at least for us, because we're always moving, and I want to get into your new job here in a minute, bro. But it is nice to slow down from reality a little bit and really kind of have like a feel-good movie Friday night, just very chill after a long week. It's always good. It's a good little pick-me-up after
100%.
the week,
And I kind of feel like piggybacking off of what we were talking about, going into fall in the Midwest, Chicago area, it's going to start getting colder. I kind of feel like spring, we're super amped up for summer, getting ready, and it's going to be go, go, go. I feel like summer is go, 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 outdoor activities, all that kind of stuff. And then I feel like transitioning into fall, into the winter, it's kind of nice on the weekend, a Friday night or a Saturday night, get some food, get some hot chocolate, whatever it is, put on a couple movies, and like that's honestly like the best kind of night, right? It's a vibe. So
it's a great night, bro.
I am really excited to go into that kind of season because I am a big movie buff. I love movies.
Yeah, dude.
So like
same.
Fall, winter is perfect.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
Favorite throwback Disney movie?
Ooh.
There's a lot. It doesn't have to be animated. It could also be like, some of the other like live action ones.
This is where I get tricky because I always mess up Pixar and Disney. I always fuck.
We'll include Pixar too.
It's a toss up between the Toy Story series and the Incredibles. I love the Incredibles for some reason. Okay. I love it.
W.
I love it.
That's a W.
Yeah. How about you, bro?
I like without even having to think about it. My favorite Disney movie of all time is Motocrossed, and we always talk about it. It's the throwback one where it's the brother and the sister.
Yes. Yeah.
And the brother gets hurt, and they're motocross racers, and then the girl, she cuts her hair, she wants to go ride too.
Oh, it's a great movie.
So Andrea, she goes by Andy.
Yes.
And she cuts her hair, and then she starts racing, and then there's like a feud between does the mom let her race? She ends up doing it, but then they have to hide it from the dad, who's searching around for another rider. And there's a whole back and forth, and then finally the dad says, you know what, fuck it. I want you to be happy. I'll let you ride. She ends up winning in the end. Boom, boom, boom. But Motocross, bro, gets me teed up.
That's a good movie.
It's from the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, but it hits home. I just love those kind of movies, like that movie. There's Brink.
I was literally just gonna say that. Another Brink. I was just gonna say a Brink, bro.
Like,
that was another good one.
Disney doesn't make like the live like human movies like they did, like they do, like they used to. But the animated ones still hit.
Animated ones still hit, bro. But it's funny though. I mean, you kind of like if you go back to look at that era, like early 2000s, late 90s, and it's a good movie, but it's a little corny, a little cheesy.
I was literally about to say, do you know? I'll be the first to admit it. Do you know what movie that I watched? I think maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh man, Disney movie,
High School Musical.
Oh my God, you're a big Zach guy.
But I was kind of sitting here at 27 years old. I was like, this shit's cheesy as fuck.
It is cheesy,
but
it's
I was
good.
Still singing with it. I was like, this is a W. Like we're soaring and we're flying.
Yeah,
There's not a star in heaven. Okay. That we can't take or make or whatever it is. But I can't remember all the words. I remember like I was in elementary school when it came out, and they would drop like the Friday night on Disney. It'd be like the movie would start at like 6:30. It was like the Friday night special, the big movie, and then like the High School Musical movies were obviously huge.
Oh yeah.
And then they came out the karaoke versions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love Disney, man. You were just mentioning that you guys watched Elemental, and it just kind of brought me down that path.
Yeah. It was.
I think it's really funny how we're sitting right now with like my leg.
We literally that was simultaneously too. I don't know if you noticed that. Literally on the same time. We're in sync today. I love it.
We've done 15 episodes now. This is the 15th.
Vibes are flowing.
We're in a rhythm now, but we can move on from that.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your week. I know you guys had a huge football game.
Yes.
How's work been going?
Work's been going good. So with my job, the short weeks are the hardest. The hardest because there's so much to do in 3 days. We had parent-teacher conferences this week, mind you. So kids were off Thursday and Friday, and then they're off Monday too, which I'm thankful I have off Monday as well. But the short weeks are hard because, like I said, I have like 40 plus kids in my caseload, and it's impossible to see all of them in 3 days. So overall, it was a good week. I think from a work standpoint, we did have 2 football games. We played Monday. We played against Sycamore. We had a big win, 28-24.
Ooh, huge W.
Close game.
Close game.
It was a close game, bro.
That's a nail biter.
Wait, here's the thing too, bro. Is like our squad, like we have a good squad. We have a good squad. I coach varsity, so 8th grade varsity middle school football, and we've been with these guys for 2 years. We're really vibing and gelling. But I'm noticing, man, the guys, they're really good guys, but they're really hard on themselves.
Yeah.
They're really hard, and I think that's a good thing and a bad thing in and of itself, and we'll touch on that in a second here. The kids, yeah. And we'll get to there in a second, but yeah, so Monday we had a big win against Sycamore, and then Wednesday night we had our big crosstown rival game against Thompson. So it was Red Wing versus Thompson. Tommy.
I remember Tommy, big Tommy.
Oh my God, dude! And we always played one of the high schools. So we played at St. Charles North. Huge scene. Almost felt like a Friday Night Lights vibe. We played at 6:30. Sunset. Sun was dropping.
Wednesday night, right?
Wednesday night, dude. We ran out of the tunnel with the smoke, the music. It was legit.
It was like a whole production.
It was a whole production. Like we were actually doing.
Playing in Permian.
Yeah, Permian Panthers, baby. Shout out, Booby Miles. And but yeah, we the last couple games, bro, we just been coming out a little bit flat. I think just a little bit flat, and I don't know what it is. I was trying to figure it out, like as I'm processing and analyzing the games, but we actually started out really hot in the game. We had a pick six, but one of our guys blocked the other guy in the back, so we came back. Our offense went down and scored, though, 3 or 4 plays later, so we were up 8-0.
Okay.
Thompson goes down and drives on us. They score, tied up 8-8, and then we couldn't get anything going. They scored again. It was, I think, 14-8 at half or something like that. And then we just couldn't do anything, bro.
It just went kind of sloppy downhill. Missed
tackle. Some of the guys they got outside. We did a really good job containing, and then they ran the wing tee, bro. The wing tee's hard to stop sometimes, and
it is.
And it was just one of those games that it's not always your night. We lost. You know what I mean? So I think that I can personally accept failure and defeat. What I have a hard time with, and we're gonna talk with the boys next week, is the effort of the game at the end. Just giving up, slamming helmets, taking yourselves out of the game. Like, I'm sorry, but that is absolute bullshit in my opinion. Like, 100%. We can't have that. And
you cannot be doing that.
Me and Tom, my other coach, I coach it. We don't teach that to the kids. Like, that's not. You're gonna fail in life. Like,
you're gonna lose. You're gonna fail. Things aren't always gonna go your way. But how you respond to it is huge. And that's right. You really want to instill that in them while they're young.
Totally.
So then they know that moving forward. Right? Like, that's a lesson that should not be learned later.
No, it should be learned now. So
definitely.
We're going to have a nice little conversation next week with the boys. But
no, that makes sense.
Yeah, man. Overall, I mean, it was a good week, though, bro. I mean, we fortunately have another game next week. We're playing Jason Toth's team again. We're playing Toth again.
Didn't you dust him the first time?
The boys took care of business the first game. Took care of business the first game.
With this league, I'm assuming, right, like 8th grade, like there's playoffs and everything like that when it gets down to it, or no?
No.
Wow. So it's not like Rams, like you can't go and win the Super Bowl?
No. So they had.
That's kind of cheeks.
It is cheeks. So last year we had like the top 2 teams in the conference had like a conference championship, like 1 game playoff.
Okay.
They're not having it this year. I'm not really sure the whole reason behind it.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
It kind of stinks though, because I thought we would have had at least a chance to be in there.
That really stinks, dude. Like some bad eggs, and I'm not liking that.
No, I'm not either, bro. I'm not.
Mean?
It sucks, but I mean that's just we have to deal with the hand that we're dealt.
Yeah,
you
guys obviously don't make all the rules when it comes to like the district and all that kind of stuff. But all you can do is show up on game nights, and hopefully the boys are prepared.
That's it, bro. Yeah, that's
it.
So
what is your guys' record now? I know you guys started off pretty hot. What are you, like 6-2?
I think 6-3.
6-3?
6-3. 6-3. I think. 'Cause we played Yorkville. We lost to them twice. They were a really good team.
You lost on Wednesday.
Really, I mean, both beatable games, but just a game. It's a game of mistakes, bro. Or game of inches.
It is
game
a
of
game
inches.
of mistakes, but I feel like especially when you're playing in 8th grade, it's tough.
It's tough, bro.
Well,
and sometimes like we play 2 games in a week.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And the kids are doing school. They got homework and everything like that. And
I get it. I get it.
What I mean?
So
they're what, like 12, 13? Like
13, 14. Yeah.
13, 14. Yeah. So it's like, it's a lot to deal with.
There's a lot to deal with. But overall, good week, bro. So definitely happy to have, be here doing this pod with you, bro, because it's just nice to.
It's nice, right?
It's a nice day. It's just a gorgeous day, man.
We had kind of talked about it. I feel like with all the stress and all the pressure going on with life, I kind of feel like when we connect, We plug in the microphones. It kind of also gives us an outlet to kind of pause the outside world for a nice 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or when we got Joey D on 2 hours.
2 hours, Joey D.
And that really wasn't a pause, though. Like, that was a deep one. That was a heavy one. But it is kind of nice when we get together and we record these podcasts because it is a little bit of like an outlet for us.
It is. It is, bro. 100%, man.
And it's always nice because we sit down here sometimes and we process our own emotions, you know, while we're sitting here. And, you know, you're recapping your week and you're thinking about it. And it kind of gives you a different perspective because I'm really big on like the three key senses, right? Maybe even 4. I don't even know. I'm trying to process this while I'm trying to formulate the words. But it's like you think about it, you speak it, you hear it, but then you're digesting it. So it is kind of like the 3, not necessarily senses, but like the 3 ways of like processing information, right? I'm really big on, for me, like in school, I would hear the professor talk, I would have to write it down, and I'd have to speak it, right? Like three ways, and I really digest the information. So it's like when we're sitting here on the podcast and we're doing that in real time, we're kind of also, it's like a therapy session almost. It is. Sometimes when we talk about certain things, obviously like with the football and whatnot, it's kind of like really surface level things, but I enjoy it.
Totally, bro. Totally, man. Yeah. And I know these last couple of weeks, bro, you got into a new season. We're in a new fall season here. I know you got into a new season of some work here, man.
New season, a new chapter of employment, and a completely new,
congrats, bro,
new avenue. Really appreciate you, man. Yeah. You know, it's been kind of a tough summer, but after 4 years of staffing, I kind of felt, and I feel like it was part of God's plan. You know, it was time to do something different. Right. So going into sales, obviously, it's going to be super cutthroat, and it's going to be a lot different compared to what I was doing. But like for the last 4 years, because like when I got into staffing, it was like right when the pandemic and everything was happening. So like I was in the office for only a month and a half, and then ever since then, you know, it's been remote. But like now, obviously, like doing sales, I'm going to be in person, running meetings and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, week 2 done. We were in the city for 75% of the week, just crushing it. Hammering the phones, doing a ton of cold calling, booking meetings, all that kind of stuff, really learning the products, learning the pitch, and really learning the sales process that this company is utilizing. So really excited, man. Yeah. It's good. It's going to be a lot of work. But as we have kind of talked about on this podcast, is nothing good comes easy, and only good will come from hard work. It may not always be like we talked about the outcome that you're looking for, but if I'm hammering the phones and I'm doing everything that I can look at myself at the end of the night and be like, fuck, I gave it everything. You know?
Hell yeah, bro.
And I'm also working with one of my good friends.
That's true. Yeah.
Shout out AK.
Shout out AK, baby.
Shout out AK.
Yes,
Austin,
sir. Yes, sir. You know, you touched a little bit on, I mean, over the summer, I mean, you kind of had it was a rough summer. I mean, you were trying to figure out kind of going through the interview process and trying to figure out what's the next move.
Yeah. What do I want to do?
What do you want to do? And I'm sure there's other listeners that maybe, unfortunately, either got let off or got let go or whatever their situation was.
Yeah.
You know, what's some advice that you can give them to people who may be struggling internally with like, fuck, I want to get a job, but like I don't know what to do. Like, what's something that helped you within your journey to find this job?
I kind of feel like it goes back to what we talked about on one of the first episodes in this library when we were talking about people dealing with, you know, stress of kids and work and things like that. And one of the recurring themes that's going to be on this podcast is patience. Is patience, and it sounds cheesy, but patience and trusting the process. You know, you're obviously, and I went through these ruts over the summer, like getting frustrated. You're looking at other opportunities. Is this what I want to do? You know, do I want to change? Do I maybe just like stick to the mundane and the normal because it's what I'm used to? It's what I've been doing for 4 years. But I had that calling inside of me saying, no, I think you're destined to do more. I think you're meant to do more. So sometimes you have to kind of take that risk and take that leap. It's like accepting this position, like, yo, this is completely different than anything I've done in a long time, in like over 4 years, because I did do solar sales, and I worked at a car dealership too for a while. So like I have done sales before, but it's obviously not something I've like been doing for a long time.
Right.
So you kind of have to trust the process. And it's like when you're dealing with stuff, you know, remind yourself that whatever the storm you're in right now is not going to be forever. Because sometimes we had talked about it before, when you're in that and you're in the rain and you're in the mud and you're in the fog, you kind of feel like this is going to be forever, but you have to try to find the light somewhere, and you have to just stay focused on that. Like the journey and the process, it's going to be tough, but it's like there is hopefully going to be the other side of the rainbow. So it's like all throughout the summer, I just had to keep reminding myself like, hey, listen, what's meant to be is going to come. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but it's going to come. Right? And it did. And you know, it was kind of crazy how this all ended up, right? So Austin had been working at this company for like the last year and like about 8 months or so. And he had told me like, hey, there's an opening on my team. And he had told me this about like a month and a half ago. And he had told his boss at the time about me, and his boss kind of shrugged it off and was like, he doesn't really have any industry experience. Like, I don't think so. It's not going to work. And he had told me that. And I was like, damn, like I really wanted that.
Yeah.
So I was interviewing with some other opportunities. And I had interviewed with that one warehouse job. I was going to go into industrial management, where I was going to be managing a factory out in DeKalb. And I, had multiple conversations with you, with my dad, with my mentor. And I was kind of like, I don't really want this, but I was like, maybe it could be like a good chance to like do something different and kind of like expand my horizons and my skill set. And then I get a call one day and he's like, yo, we actually had a new boss that got hired. He's going to be running this team and a couple other teams. I sent him your resume. I got you an interview. And I was like, wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, because
let's go.
Let's rewind a little bit. Is like when I was down in Arkansas and I had gotten into staffing, and I had been doing that for about a year and a half. And I was building my, LinkedIn network, and I'm building my resume. My mentor was telling me, he was like, hey man, the job market was really hot. There was a lot of companies and things hiring, right? And so we were kind of joking about it, but like I was getting literally like 10, 15 messages on LinkedIn a day about job opportunities. And he was like, what's the only way that you can get better doing something, right? Is practicing. So I literally used to schedule like 6 to 10 interviews every single week. Not even really jobs that I wanted, but just to practice the interview
process.
The interview process. I literally used to do like 6 to 10 interviews a week for like probably 4 or 5 months. So I'm doing a ton of interviews. And so when he had told me that he had gotten me an interview, I was like, bro, like 99.9%, like I know I got this. Because if you do it enough, you understand the questions that are going to come. You're better with your responses. You can kind of think a little bit more about your own strengths and the weaknesses. And it's like, dude, when it comes to interviewing, especially because I'm in staffing, like I know how to prep candidates. I know how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a cheat code because it's like, that's what I was doing is I was interviewing candidates and going through the resume and asking them to expand on their experiences and blah, blah, blah. So it's like when it comes down to me actually having to interview, it's like, yo, I'm ready to knock this out of the park.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so once he said that, it was a GG's at that point. I did 2 interviews with Garrett. I mean, these names aren't going to mean anything to anybody listening, but I did 2 interviews with Garrett. I met with the new boss, who was the district sales manager, Nick, and then I met with some lady from HR. And I mean, bro, I had the offer in 6 days.
That's awesome, bro.
And so here we are, and I just met Garrett in the city on Monday, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
You're out there. We stayed at the EMC2, which was a nice hotel. We went to Prime and Provisions on Monday, which was a Michelin star restaurant.
Great spot. Yeah.
You been there before?
I've not been there, but I heard really good things. People really hype that place up.
Austin got a $210 tomahawk.
Oh my God.
He had every bite. Like they had like Wagyu, tartare. I got like a 45-day dry aged steak. It was out of this world. But the key message at that dinner was like, yo, like we can play hard. But it's like when it comes down to it, it's like those boys, right? Like when you come out and you're ready and you have to start that game, like it's time to work. And like we sat down, we huddled up, and we really outlined how we're going to attack all the various regions in Illinois and attack Q4, because Q4 in the aesthetic industry, which is what I'm doing. I don't think I said that, but I'm in like the aesthetic. I don't really know how to label it, like aesthetic, like medical devices. So like radio frequency, micro needling, like body contouring, things to like rejuvenate collagen and elastin in the skin, all that kind of stuff like in the aesthetic beauty industry, right? But it's one of the busiest quarters of the year is Q4. It's when everybody's buying. It's when people are writing certain things off on their taxes in December, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, this is the time to get in, learn it, crush it, grow, and make a lot of money.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
That was very long-winded, but
no,
yes.
Thank you for the in-depth response, bro, because I think that's awesome that you found something that you didn't think was going to work out a couple months ago, and then here you are, like full circle. It's like, oh shit, like it's a perfect example of patience and where God works in mysterious ways. And we're supposed to be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be.
When we're supposed to be.
When we're supposed to be there.
And that's key. Yeah. Is because maybe a month and a half when he had given, like 2 months ago, whatever, when he had given my resume to his old boss before he switched teams, maybe if I got in there, it wasn't going to work. It wasn't the right time, right?
Right.
And then it's like, I knew in my gut when he called me back, said I had an interview, I was like, yeah, if I get this, I want it.
Right.
Like, I'm taking it.
I remember when you called me and told me, I was like, yo, like,
I got an
Austin
interview.
just called me, and I got an interview with.
I got an interview here, and I was like, if I get this, I'm taking it. I called my dad, and I was like, immediately, I was like, I'm taking this.
I knew you were gonna take it too. If they offered, there's no hesitation.
I was ready to go. Literally, I was like, send the offer over. I'm signing today.
You
like,
probably
I
had
want
the
this.
pen like when you
Yeah,
were,
exactly.
like, in your hand, ready to sign
right here
on the line.
Utility belt with like 17 pens. Like, which one do I want? Boom, right here. Done.
He says your name,
Signing it.
Jeff. Yeah, I want to sign.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even have to go over numbers, logistics. I know it's going to work, but
that's awesome, bro.
It comes down to it, and it's going to be really cool sharing the experiences on this podcast because I just started. I'm 2 weeks in, so it's like, by episode 30, in another 15 weeks, hopefully I'll have made sales and I have gotten even better at this job and things like that. Because me and Austin already, like, dude. A lot of the job in this industry is a lot of cold calling. Some people are scared to do it. Some people know that it's part of it.
Right.
So I'm calling these med spas. I'm calling these dermatologists, optometrists, all that kind of stuff, booking meetings. And it sucks. It's a numbers game. You got to make 50, 60 calls a day, but then you have to book those meetings and then obviously run them and generate that excitement and build up that partnership with these people. But that's the easy part.
For you, it's easy. For you, that's super easy.
Just building that relationship. And the thing, I was having a conversation 2 days ago with one of the district sales managers, Tyler, who was Austin's old boss. And I was like, the thing that really gravitated me towards this company, especially after huddling up with the boss and the boss's boss. I know it gets confusing because there's a lot of people in the tree, right?
There's a lot of people here.
But what really excited me about them and this company, and they were talking about the sales process, is they were really harping on doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Actively
I like that.
Building that relationship, building that partnership. Because as you know, in some industries, like I worked in the car industry, it's fucking sleazy. They'll sell you a busted car that they know is going to run you and your pocket's dry with maintenance and repairs and all that kind of stuff. They'll sell it to you and not even bat an eye.
They don't care.
That's one of the reasons I got out of it. I was like, this is so fucking slimy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really icky and it's gross. But it's like this here, what we're doing, at least on this team, is doing things the right way. And they were really big on that. And I was like, you know what? Like hearing that's like music to my ears because that's the only way I want to do it.
Right.
100%, because the stuff works. And the biggest thing that they were talking about is really when it comes down to it, maybe it's different in other industries, but they were saying in this industry, every single objection that you get is really going to funnel down into two avenues. Does it work? Or is this going to make me money?
Right.
Right. And so I feel like in this position, bro, I'm going to learn so much that we're going to be able to share with the listeners on how to overcome the objections and kind of work through the sales process because you really have to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Right. And
you do.
You listen to Andy Elliott.
I do. Yeah.
My boss is huge on him. Like one of the days, Tuesday morning, we watched an entire podcast with Andy Elliott and I think it was Ryan Pineda.
Yeah, Ryan Pineda. Yep. I know Ryan Pineda.
And they were just talking, had a great conversation about sales and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, dude, I feel like I'm going to learn so much here.
Yeah. I think to add on to what you were saying about, I think connecting with people is like, this from, I think this is maybe sales 101 is this, people will buy from you if they know you, like you, and trust you, right? It's know, like, trust. And I think that that's a good principle to live by, even just when you're connecting with people in general.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're going on a date with someone for the first time, whether you're getting into a new job, whatever it is, like, get to know them, like them, and then build that trust.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure Andy Elliott said in that video, he said, people don't buy the product, they buy you.
They do. Right.
They buy you.
Well, and I think that's where I think a lot of people, like specifically the car industry, get a bad rep is because they just want to sell and
they
meet
just
their
want to
quota.
sell. That's all they care. They want to hit their quota and make that. And it's like,
and
they'll sell you a lemon, knowing damn right that it's a lemon.
Yeah.
But they won't give a fuck, and they'll just sell it to you, knowing that you'll be back in 2 weeks for the maintenance, and they'll make sure that there's no warranty and all that. Like, it's really slimy, dude.
Yeah. And
it's really icky.
It's sad. It is really sad. But I also think too, it's having people like you, who want to do things the right way and have the patience and can do it sleeping at night. Yeah. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I don't know. I
wouldn't be able to sleep, dude.
I would not be able to sleep either, bro.
Because here's the thing, right? Is some of the devices and the technology that we sell, it is expensive.
Yeah.
Like the lasers that we sell, it ranges anywhere from like $70,000 to $300K plus.
Yeah, they're expensive.
It's a lot, right? But the thing is like the stuff works.
Right.
And it's proven. There's hundreds of med spas and all those kind of places all over the world. We're in like 180 countries that are using these products and making a lot of money. So it's like if I sell you the product and you don't market it, you don't advertise it, you don't build this thing up and like really utilize it and you fail, that's kind of on you. You know what I mean? Like let's take it back to like sports. Like if I'm a fitness trainer and I give you the best meal plan and I give you the best workouts and everything, and I give you the best, kind of like rehab and like exercises and warm-ups to do to prevent injuries and all that kind of stuff, but you don't do it and you get hurt, like that's on you.
Right.
I gave you all the tools, right? So I'll be able to sleep soundly knowing that I'm selling products that really work and can transform. Like there's hundreds of stories in this industry about, working with a place that was like really going downhill on the verge of like having to close the doors, and they get a device like this and it really revamps, and then they get another one and it blows through the moon. But it's like we rewind if you don't utilize it or really do your part in it, right? Because the cool thing about our company is we have like post-sales consultants, like a completely separate team that come in after you purchase the laser, and they partner with you and they come in and they teach you about like in depth about, the device that you're using, and they show you how to market and advertise and grow your business. It's a PDC. I forget exactly what it is. It's like a post something consultant. And, like their job is to like help you grow the business after you get the laser, right? So it's like if you don't utilize what they're offering you, like, that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to invest in them, but they don't want to invest in themselves,
exactly.
That's just what it is, and it's sad. You know what I mean? But
we can't force people's hands, and we can't force people to do what they don't want to do.
Right.
And it's like sometimes, like we've talked about before, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
100%. And I'm excited to hear about this journey and to share with our listeners.
It's gonna be a crazy one.
It's gonna be cool, bro. It's gonna be cool, man. I know we talked a little bit before the podcast here. I mean, we had something happen yesterday. There was an album that dropped.
Oh,
we had an album that dropped.
Are we going into this?
Aubrey Graham. Yeah.
Aubrey Graham.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Graham.
So
dropped for all the dogs.
For all the dogs. All the dogs. And okay, I'm gonna be honest. So I listened to it. For me, sometimes when I listen to albums or mixtapes that come out, I need to hear it maybe 3, 4, 5 times.
You got to give it a couple listens.
So I'll be honest. I maybe listened to it all the way through once, maybe twice. So I just want to preface that while we're talking about this. And you may have listened to it more than me. I'm not sure. We'll get into that in a second.
To it all day yesterday. Yeah.
So my take on it is, I think it is a little bit above average, and I'm going to tell you why. So my reason is, one, I just said I maybe have to listen to it more and give him more of a legitimate shot. But I also think, too, as rappers get later into their career, it's so hard to hold the standard that they've had when they were in their, I guess, quote-unquote prime.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Drake's still not in his prime, but he's getting a little bit older.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And I know he mentioned, too, that he's dealing with, I don't know if it's some mental health things. He's taken a step away from
mental health and stomach issues, too,
and some stomach issues. I think he's got some stuff he's going through. So I get it. I mean, he's been going for a decade and a half.
Could be the last album.
We don't know.
Maybe.
We honestly don't know. But how I see things, and maybe this is just a me thing, but I feel like the standard of his music was when he dropped, What a Time to Be Alive, Take Care.
If you're reading this, it's too late. Nothing was the same. Like I get it.
Yeah. So, but that's just me. So I think, and he talks about too, like he's like bringing back the old Drake in some sense. I feel like we haven't seen that old Drake.
No, we haven't.
And that's what I'm basing it off of, just to kind of give some context to it. So I do think it's like I said, it's above average. There are some bangers on there. I think it's just a new rhythm and flow that the people have to get used to, or me in particular have to get used to.
Well, times and the music are changing, but the way I like to look at it, and it's really tough when we find artists like Drake or have some other favorite artists, the Trippie Redd, Bryson Tiller,
J. Cole, all
that, right?
Yeah.
But what we have to try to do, right, is when we're listening to a body of music, we can't compare it to past music.
It's hard. I know.
You have to just focus. It's like on art, you have to focus on like a specific single body of work. You can't compare it to like an old painting that they did. Like, this is new. It's 2023. The music, the vibes, the energy, the slang, the beats, all that kind of stuff. Everything is different than it was back in 2013 when he was dropping this other stuff, 14, 15, right?
Yeah.
As far as this single body of work, I think it's probably been the best thing that he's dropped in the last 3 albums. Certified Lover Boy for me was
It was all right.
Her Loss was It was all right.
There are a couple bangers, I agree.
Bangers.
I agree.
But this is a pretty solid body of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's diverse. It's got different features. He's got a lot more features on this tape than he normally does. The song with J. Cole is an absolute smash. Like that would absolutely
that's my favorite one. That's my favorite song
off the walls in here.
Yeah. Oh.
But I thought it was pretty decent. As far as like it just came out, it's obviously hot.
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of the music that's dropped in the last couple of years, the replay value for me has significantly gone down. Like, will I be listening to this album in a month? Probably not. But like for right now, I like it.
It's hot. It's
hot.
It's Drake.
I like
mean,
it,
it's Drake.
know?
It's the boy. You know.
I definitely don't think that he's my favorite artist anymore.
I don't think he's mine either.
Like my music taste has really changed.
Mine too. I would agree.
Someone the other day put me onto the Tresky Brothers. Have you heard of them?
No, I have not.
Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, show me
I'll
after.
play some music right when we get off it. I don't know if it's going to be your jam.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit more like country, like raspy, like.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Okay.
Like I listen to so many different genres now, bro. Like I feel like
too.
when I was younger in high school, I was like, it was only rap.
Same.
And I listened to like alternative, emo, metal,
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Like whatever, bro. Like rap is honestly kind of fallen down on the list for me. I don't really listen to like a ton of rap anymore.
Rap's always been there, but I also think I'm not like, I would say like some EDM, but like what's his name? Tiesto. Like Tiesto is like an example.
Tiesto.
He's essentially EDM,
Yeah,
right?
it's EDM.
Like, I like that. I like his flow and his rhythm,
Yeah.
where he kind of remakes some like old songs and creates his own thing. I think that's cool. Rap will always probably be like my heart.
It's
always
always
gonna
up
be there,
but
you know,
I just feel like nowadays a lot of the rappers dropping the music like, bro, it all sounds the same.
it does.
It all sounds the same.
Well, I'm curious.
It's like the Baby. Same flow, same style beats. I get it. Some people love it. Never really been a fan. AK Austin loves the Baby.
He loves the Baby.
He loves the Baby. But I'm like, bro, you listen to one song, you listen to his entire catalog. Different words, but it's same flow, same kind of beat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like Soulja Boy. His new it's
BBL?
It's BBL. It's like his old flow. It's like it's the same shit. Like he dropped. Cranked Out Soulja Boy. Ooh, like it's the same. Like
thing.
I thought it was I thought the beat was already a song he produced years ago.
Probably.
It probably
was. He probably dropped a song. It probably flopped, and he
Probably
tried to remove it and then just re-rapped over it.
And it didn't do anything better.
You know who still to this day is my favorite artist? Surpassed Drake.
Who's that?
Tory Lanez, bro. Free Tory.
Free Tory. No,
Free Daystar.
I will. Tory's
Tory
up there on
Lanez
my
is a
list.
W.
Tory.
He is.
No, I completely agree, bro.
I think when it comes to a musical talent,
Music.
as far as diversity, the singing, the rapping, just everything, when you encompass it into one person, bro, I think Tory Lanez is more talented than like almost any artist that you can name. I'm not talking about from a standpoint of like people playing guitars and like instruments and things like that. I'm talking about just like vocally and just like an ear for the music and flows. And just if you look at his entire catalog, I think he is one of the only artists that I think from mixtape one that I listened to back in like 2010 to now has stayed consistent throughout and has never fallen. Like if I show you any album or body of work, they are always like right here.
Let me ask you a question here. I want your honest opinion. I agree. I do think Tory Lanez is...
Like I could run through his entire catalog. First album, absolute banger. Most recent, absolute banger.
What do you think about Wayne?
Goat. I think he is definitely, his music has like really fallen off. But like, bro, the Carters up until like maybe Carter 4, holy fuck.
Well, what about his mixtapes? You know, you got
bro.
Dedication, The Drought,
Sorry for the Wait.
I mean, those
like all of them.
Those were just
what was it? Oh my God, No Ceilings.
Oh my God, No Ceilings. Yeah,
bro. Like I was literally just listening to Old Wayne at the gym last week, like Swag Surfing.
Oh my God.
What was it? It was like Watch My Belt or something. Watch My Shoes.
Yeah, Watch My Shoes.
I was listening to Three Pete. I was listening to A Milli Will Forever Be a Slam.
I think A Milli's.
It will forever be a slam. I was literally listening to that last week. Like, bro, Wayne's the GOAT.
Yeah. No, he is the GOAT. I think mine is...
He paved the way for all these other artists.
He did. Well, and I want to get back to the Drake here. So that brings me up a question for you. Is that, do you feel with Drake in his career, when he's bringing on all these younger features as guests, do you feel like he's trying to pave the way for them and try to help?
I think so.
I think so too, right?
I think music is ever changing.
Yeah.
And the way that I would really look at it for like a simple sports comparison is I think Wayne is Jordan.
Yeah.
And I think
Agreed.
I think Drake is LeBron. Some people will consider
I would
LeBron
agree
to
with
be
that.
the GOAT because
100%.
Drake has the accolades and he has like, you know, it's like with LeBron, you're the all-time scoring leader. Like you have all this kind of stuff. You've been to 10 finals and all that. But it's like, bro, if you really think back to like who like really made it, who was like undefeated type shit, It's like Wayne is Jordan and Drake is LeBron. It's kind of like that new wave.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take away from one or the other, but
Not
it's
at all.
completely different. But like, who was like really the greatest?
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily all stats aside, but it's like, 6-0 in the finals type shit, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's Wayne.
I think Wayne, I think you could argue Slim Shady too. You could. I personally think too. I mean, it'd be a tough
Slim
argument.
Shady might be like Kobe.
That would be that's a good comparison. Okay.
You picking up?
I'm
what
picking
I'm
up, putting down. I'm processing. I'm thinking, right? I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, right? Like we talked about at the beginning of the podcast. No.
Yeah, like Eminem could be like a Mamba type shit, like undisputed. Like he's definitely there, but I don't know if I could put him in like that number one spot. But he's definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, I would say top 3. Yeah.
Like Drake even mentioned in his album, he's like one number one hit I think away from Michael Jackson, like Mike Jack, the GOAT.
Yeah, that's
the king
true.
of pop.
That's true.
That light keeps turning off.
Yeah.
But he's one away from Mike Jack. So it's like when it comes to the accolades, Drake's got it for sure. Nobody can ever even dispute anything. When it comes to the streaming and the number one hits and all that kind of stuff, Drake is the GOAT.
It's true.
When it comes to that. But
I
it's
agree.
like when you really think about like everything, I don't know if you could put him above like, especially as far as like talent goes, above Wayne.
I'm curious to see what our viewers think.
Yeah.
I really am curious
Wayne
to see.
is- Yeah. Comment down below. Shoot us a DM, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you think. Comment on YouTube or shoot us a DM at the Boys for Life podcast on Instagram.
Sir.
What you think? Because I would really be interested in other people's thoughts.
Yeah,
if they would agree or be like,
that's a
no,
good
like
one.
you guys are now like Stephen A. Smith type take. You know what I mean?
Stephen
like a
A.
Skip Bayless type take.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh
I mean?
my god, that would be insane, bro. But yeah, dude, I think it's interesting with people's viewpoints and opinions. It's just interesting how you really dissect and analyze. Like we all really have our own opinions on things.
Yeah.
Some people may think that
That's
Kendrick.
the thing that's like really cool though and fascinating. Like my sister loves Kendrick.
I like Kendrick too, but I wouldn't. He's not in my top 5. That's just my take.
When it comes to like the lyricism and all that kind of stuff and like what he's rapping about and the words that he's saying, I think he's definitely up there with the big 3.
I agree.
For me, the beats and shit is just it's
off. I agree.
It's fucking weird.
What's the thing? Are you a lyrical guy? Are you beats? Are you both? Like, what do you favor more? Like, I'm big on beats. I like beats first, and then I like lyrics. It's something with beats because then it's just like gets the vibe going for me.
Yeah.
That's just always been
Like
me.
it's kind of funny, dude. Like you love like the Young Dolph and like
Love Young Dolph, Lil Baby.
I love Lil Baby, but
Love
like
Lil
someone
Baby.
like the Young Dolph and shit, like I can't get into that.
I love Young Dolph, bro. Oh my god. R.I.P. to the Young Dolph.
Man.
He was a goat, man. He was a goat.
He was up there for sure.
Yeah.
But we've definitely gone a little long-winded on this one, but it's like sometimes we want to just jump on here. Like you called me when you were on the way over here, and you're like, "What do you want to talk about?" I said, "Let's just get on the mic and just
see what's
chat.
up." Yeah,
let's just
chat a little bit.
And I feel like that's some of the feedback that I've gotten from especially some of the boys that listen is like they feel like they're hanging out with us.
Which I love, man.
Exactly, and it's like on these internal pods, sometimes that's kind of the vibe that we want. Some of them we can get obviously more serious and in depth.
Yeah.
But on one like today where we're catching up, haven't seen each other, since the Landon one. That's what almost pushing 2 weeks ago. It's like fuck it, like let's just catch up.
Yeah.
How's work been? How's life been? Like,
How's everything been?
This is a chance for us to kind of carve out some time and
I like that.
and just connect.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll continue, and we were talking before the pod, and we'll continue talking when we stop. But
yeah,
I like it.
I like it too, bro.
It doesn't always have to be so serious. It doesn't always have to be so crazy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think AK brought that up after our second episode.
AK brought that up after the second episode, and obviously, like this is the episode is going to come out. Actually, no, this is going to come out before the next one. But I'm excited for the guest tomorrow.
I'm really excited. It's going to be. I'm not going to have to drop too much, but I think it's different. I think it'd be a different perspective and a different field of work that this individual's in. And I'm really excited.
Cool.
That
really
it's going to
cool.
be really cool and unique
Really
to ask some really good questions to our.
But I
guests.
think we'll keep it right here on that
Right
one.
there. Amen.
Thank you
Amen.
guys so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. This was episode 15, big 15.
Let's go.
Of the Boys for Life podcast. As always, we will catch you on the next one. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.
For all the dogs, baby, you know exactly what it is.